Let me introduce the speaker for tonight, Dr. Shekhar Angungi. Dr. Shekhar Angungi has been practicing homeopathy since 1992 in the western suburbs of Mumbai. Having graduated from Venuta Yeshwantrao Homeopathic Medical College and post-graduated from Panchshil Homeopathic Medical College, he had an opportunity to do fellowship in the Pioneer University of London, UK, under the guidance of Luke de Shepherd, and he has been conferred upon honorary membership from the Faculty Homeopathy Malaysia for his presentation on Soul the Universal Energy. He has been blessed with some of the good teachers in the vast valley of Mumbai like Dr. Rajan Shankaran, Dr. Jayesh Shah, Dr. Sujit Chatterjee, Dr. Praful Barwalia, and Dr. Prakash Vakil, and many more. Something about him as a speaker, he's calm, composed, and patient as ever has been the key feature for him. His tenure as over 2 decades has traveled a long way in exploring human nature through various techniques. He uses different techniques in his practice like meditative process, grammatics, the homeopathic dramatics, a very interesting concept born from the genius mind of Dr. Shekhar, transcendental state of an individual, and many more. This experience has been euphoric for not only him, but also for his colleagues all over the world. He has got both art and science as his ground on which he stands as a refined individual. This experience is when shared through his mind-blowing skills has taken a quantum leap in the homeopathic world. This innovative concept of Swara Konkan Homeo Gurukul, of sharing knowledge in an open, eco-friendly environment, which is soul of Swara Konkan group, has now been like a wildfire in the homeopathic circles. The idea of introducing the concept of a workshop which completely deals not only with the classroom pattern of teaching, but having the flavor of doing it out in the open has been warm welcomed by one and all. Now, Dr. Shekhar would give us throw some light about his experiences in utility of different lac group of remedies. Let's hear out from him. Thank you. Dr. Shekhar, if you can start with your presentation.
So, a warm welcome to everybody and a very good evening. And this is a short, basic introduction towards this particular sub-kingdom of the animal world. And it is all about the mammals. And the most important idea is the womb and the milk that matters. And it is this particular idea that one has to really garner to understand this concept. If you go to see, the idea that comes from this particular concept is all about the most important ingredient, that is the milk that has the immunoglobulin. And it builds the immune system of an individual, which we all know about, so as to develop immunity towards facing the world. The idea about this, the whole concept about this is, how am I going to develop the immunity towards the facing of the world as an individual? The most important aspect of the womb is that it gives a room for life. It provides a role of a passive recipient. The warmth, cushioned, protective, and nourished world that is there. And this particular thing is what we see in the cases of lac remedies. The ultimate development of the young one is all based on the mother and the child. And this concept of the mother, who is the donor, and the child, the recipient, this combo pack and the bonding, the connection, the nurturing, the nourishment, which looks so similar to that of the row 3 of the periodic table. We see this similar factor also in the mammals. And the idea is to be rooted. to be grounded, and therefore breast the best, which we all have been hearing this. The provision of nourishment and the formation of a psychic bonding with the mother. The idea is to bond with the mother. And this bonding is the most important theme for the psychological development as a separate individual being. And when this is disturbed, either through the mother's side or through the or through the child side, there is obviously a development of detachment. And this brings in all the dynamics of this particular lack person who is suffering with this disturbed bonding, this disturbed connection. We continue to protect through our bonding with mother and when in the womb. In case of lacks, this bonding has never been fully established with the mother. And this non-establishment of the bonding with the mother is the one that brings in the entire psychopathological dynamics of the lack individual. The missing ground underlies all the various dynamics that typify the lack state. And the reason, if the mother was not available emotionally, one of the reasons is if the mother is not available emotionally. And the other reason is if the mother did not bond with her own mother. So I have not got the idea is that I have not got my mother's attention. So how will I know what is the role of a mother is like? And therefore I cannot take care or I cannot attach to my own child. So very often in lack cases, there is a history of separation from the mother during the initial years of life. And many cases we see where the child is compelled to stay with the relatives due to various reasons. Or the child is compelled to stay with grandparents due to various reasons. And if the child is basically from the lack group, then they have a completely disconnected, non-bonded sort of an environment and atmosphere with the mother. And therefore, the entire understanding is they have a great difficulty in connecting to the other people and having a relationship with other people. This can weaken an already shaky bond with the mother and further threaten the individual's sense of personal security. Another common history is that of difficulties in breastfeeding from the mother's side, lack of milk, and therefore there is a difficulty in feeding the young one. It doesn't matter whether the difficulties appear to come from the mother, that is lack of milk from one side, or from the child because of poor attachment to the breast. And therefore the concept of through the mother and the child, the idea about attraction and repulsion. When the baby is born, it instinctively moves towards the mother. This lays the ground for the healthy connection. And once this healthy connection is set up, they are finding security. They are finding a sense of being bonded, being connected, having the warmth of the mother and the idea of being safe with the mother. And therefore, once this is done, then the other people later in life, they can easily connect to them. They can easily rely on them. When this first movement is interrupted by any chance, the individual grows up not knowing how to connect with other people. Then there is a problem with them really connecting with the other people. Lack case lack prior experience of reliable close connection. Rather, they have early imprints of failing to connect with mother. The healthy reaching out movement towards the others was interrupted. So as a result, when they are faced with a possibility of relationship later in life, they find it extremely difficult. They just cannot do that. They can't reach out. They can't even trust anybody in life. And therefore, the bond will be never reliable. They would only open the original wound that is there. And the wound is that I could never ever be with my mom, with my mother. If they manage by any chance to form a close relationship, by any chance, if they make an attempt to do that, the loss of such a bond feels absolutely devastating. And therefore, one of the patients said, I don't know where my life is going towards. I do not know what makes me happy. I do not know what makes me happy, what is really life is all about. Nowadays, my daughter is, no doubt, she is being close to my parents, but then she's getting far away from me. And you see here, at one side, she's talking about the child being close to her parents, which is fine, she says, but then my connection with her is not there. And you see, this particular aspect of losing the connection, losing the bonding is an important aspect for the lacks. In lack cases, contact is there, but bonding is incomplete. The result is a complete dilemma. Should I try again to connect? And therefore, the gesture that you can see is grasping to reach at something, given in the Millennium Repertoire. Or should I protect myself? This is the idea. Should I grasp to reach out to someone, or should I actually protect my own self? This is how the whole dynamics of these people go about. This is the fundamental dynamics of the lack cases. The person feels torn between the two movements. It is towards or getting away. And therefore, this particular fundamental idea wriggles around into their mind and acts constantly for developing their sense of diseased condition. As a result, attraction and repulsion is a key symptom of most lacks. The idea about should I be attracted to or should I repulse? And with this background, there are two basic concepts that form: alone and dependent. Having failed to bond completely with the mother, the lack child feels very lonely, isolated, and this feeling never leaves her at all. And this feeling never leaves her at all. So, lack cases often report that they feel cut off from the world, alone and unsupported. They feel unsupported. There is nobody to actually support them. In order to defend themselves, they withdraw. So the lack individuals tend to isolate himself, not daring to feel the devastation and further failures at reaching out. So therefore, the attempt made is not there. They do not make an attempt because there is always a feeling of being devastated. There is always a feeling of that I will be again isolated, and therefore, in order to avoid that further failures of reaching out, they just curb themselves inside. It's simply like what we see in Natram cases, for that matter. He becomes good at caring for others while being unable to care for himself. And then you see the mother and the child aspect that is there coming up in the case. There is a mother child dynamics that is very typical in lack cases. These patients say that as a child, they looked after their mother because the mother would obviously, if the mother has missed out this essence of her mother taking care, she would always look into extra care and extra feeding. They would prefer to breastfeed the child for a long duration of time because they develop that sort of attachment. And then indirectly, they would expect the child to play the mother's role. They would expect the child to take care of the mother. In other words, the roles are reversed. In such cases, it is common for the mother to use emotional blackmail to maintain the care she gets from her child. So she would expect the child to play the mother's role. The child is looking after the mother in order to win her love, while the mother uses her daughter for support, since she feels so alone and unsupported. You see, this dynamics also presented in the case. The mother appears to have no idea that this relationship is inappropriate. This dynamics is especially seen as a single parent families, which are surprisingly common when the mother is a lack individual. And this you can see if the mother herself is a lack individual. A couple of cases when I saw, I was very surprised to see how come the child at the age of 7, 8 years still being breastfed by the mother. And this was very, very strange in understanding. And then the child of that age was doing a lot of work which is not supposed to be a part and parcel of that age. And in the case, the idea that came up was that my mother is sick. The child is saying, my mother is sick. She needs to be attended to. And therefore, I'm doing all the role that what an elder person should do. This is the reverse way, where the child is looking after the mother in order to win her love. The lack mother develops such a dependency on her child that she excludes her partner. This can contribute to the relationship breakup. Conscious victims. Another important theme in lack cases of conscious victims. Most lack in a way feel that they are a victim. They have been taken advantage of. They have been always been let down. They tend to express helpless feeling. There's an idea of helplessness that is there in the lack cases, and to complain about how unfairly others have treated them. That is maybe in the family or maybe at workplace or maybe wherever or from the friend circle or anywhere. The idea is that they have been unfairly treated. They express a lot of indignation about this. They are unable to move forward as long as they are in this conscious victimized feeling. They have another important idea is a sense of being unsupported, as though I have no support. The lack individuals commonly complain that they have no support at all. They feel unsupported by their parents. They feel or friends or colleagues for that matter. And for this, I'll just show you a audio clip so that you can understand how this particular idea actually is presented. At times it's true because lack people by pulling away from others cut off their own support system, and they will show you how they are feeling unsupported.
Just hitting me. Hitting me means all the time torturing me. Na? See, this is happening. See, that is happening. But. I also make but, not like this but. I like to talk, food, come on, live life. But these people know. They go on nagging, and either nobody talk to you, then you're just sitting at a dump. Nobody will interfere, just खाने से मतलब खाना खाएगा सब अपना अपना सो जाएगा चुपचाप. You do that, do what you're doing. But the work has to be done. This is the life. You know where you go, what you do, that's not our concern. But this is my job. You have to do all this up to date. Little work they also do in the house. I tell them not to do this, they do. But my children, I tell them do the work in the morning. The work is not done till evening. And that I don't like. I do everything. That's why I never wait for them. I finish everything and I'm out. So that is all hitting me in my head. Like all the time I get worried because of all this thing. What will happen? My daughter gets married. Will she be able to live her life? Will she be able to adjust, compromise, sacrifice? Marriage is not just a bed of roses. Always think, my son, what he will go abroad, he will not bother. Once he is settled abroad, he will not turn back to see what is wrong to his father or his mother. Forget about his father and mother, not even turn back to see what is wrong to his sister. He will see his future, and he is like this. Now his father is financially helping him for everything to get his things done up and all that. But tomorrow if things work out, I don't think he will turn back. As far as I feel, my judgment says like this. If I go to correct him, he literally last time I said something to him, so he came to handle me. Tell me. He came to hit me. So I said, why are you coming to raise your hand on me? I am not wrong. I am telling you what is the truth. You accept what it is. All the time.
You see this aspect? Complaining about how unfairly others have treated them. So what she's saying, my son came to hammer me. And see further what she says.
And we got married. So he used to go every now and then, Kurla, to the girl's house. I said, okay, you were not married was a different story. Now you're married, you have to have your self-respect, yeah. Sit in your house, cook. I am not that I am not keeping anything in the house or not having anything. Everything is available. Make yourself available for it. Tell your wife to prepare. No, she's working. She does not have time to do. So your mother is a slave.
See that? Your mother is a slave.
Your mother is flogging. She cannot work. Even if it is 10 o'clock in the night, I am preparing everything for you. No? Food, whatever it is, if you don't like this, this is done. If you don't like this, go. You order from out, get it what you want to eat. Eat it. But eat it in your house. I tell him like this. Eat it in it. So he got angry on me. What are you telling me every time? You are torturing her. I don't even ask her anything. She we got torturing her. My husband standing in front of me is coming and raising hand on.
And see the words, being tortured, being harassed, being hit, being this thing, all these are the ways how they will feel that they are being completely harassed.
He took the stool and ordered it. I also did not leave. I also gave back. I had to correct him because he was wrong. After he realized, after 2 days, he said sorry to me. I said that is no use now. But today you proved yourself what you are in my eyes. So there is out. I don't care about it. I love him like my son, but in deep down my heart, I can't stand it.
Why?
Because of his attitude. How his behavior. Means he today compared me to her cousins.
The idea of comparison.
In-laws, saying because her cousins in-laws used to harass her cousins or somebody. So they were like, literally when they were divorced and all this stuff. So I said, how can you compare her with me? I have never said anything. I already told you, don't go to her house every time. What is this? If you were not married, was a different story. Every parents have got a restriction for their children. So that was the time. Now you're married, you cook in your house, you eat that. What is available here, eat. You can't afford. Bring them out. Sit in your house. Don't lose your self-respect by going every now and then there. So on that basis, he got angry. So I felt so now in my life, never will I turn back. So it doesn't make any difference when he speaks to me, he calls me. I talk to him whenever he realizes what he has done.
What was the feeling then?
Feeling was that my husband is sitting in front of me and he is watching that my son is raising his hand. Which mother will join a hand and catch her son's feet and say, sorry, I have done that also. If I am wrong. He said that I harassed her. Na? So I said, if I have harassed her, how can you compare me with her? With that, her cousin. You can't compare your mother with her because I have only stopped you from going there. Keep your self-respect. Sit in your house, eat in your house, cook in your house, stay here. So you are today coming to hit me. He lost his hair, literally picked up a stool and coming to hammer me and all that. And my husband is watching the fun. I said, my husband, what are you watching here? You're a man of the house. You don't have sense. I hit him. I raised my hand on him. But what hurted me is that today my husband is standing like this. He's standing and watching. He's not knowing what it is. You're a man of the house. You don't have little also decency that today if your son does not have respect for your own wife, what will the others respect your wife?
And you see the idea about me versus you that is happening over here. The idea about how the way she's expressing it out. And the idea that they tend to express a lot of helplessness. My husband is standing over there next to me and is not even telling and not even bother to tell anything what the son is doing. And this is how they always have this idea about complaining about how unfairly others have behaved towards them.
How did that feel at that moment?
Fear, I was roiling. How could a child compare me with somebody else and, put his mother in that lady's shoe?
What was the feeling in that boiling?
Boiling means I felt like carrying and hammering him. I raised my hand, I hit him. I said, this is wrong what you're doing. You cannot compare your mother with anybody. Are your 5 fingers straight? No. Just because I stopped you, you got so aggressive with me. For what? For no reason. Then he used to go to work when he was in Renaissance, or he used to come very late. I used to get worried in the night. To drink, go out with friends, and come late. I used to always stand in the window and wait for him. Where his boys? Where his boys? So I always think that I stood for these children, but they never had value for the father.
I stood for these children, but they never had value for the mother.
They don't know, what the father is going to. Father was not bothered. Father was sleeping, calm.
When you were standing and watching, how did it feel to you?
Me, when he was angry, I hit him now back.
And the husband was standing and watching.
That's what I'm saying. I was just standing and just watching. I said, how are you standing and watching like this? You're the father of the family. You don't have sense. If today a son can raise hand on a mother, today you're living, it's like this. Tomorrow if you die, what will be? I'll be out of the road. So that was the reason. Now I have lost interest in everybody in my house. Like, husband, I literally called him a Namand. I literally told my husband, you should I told him. But you're a Namand, your son is raising a hand on me and you're standing and watching.
What was the feeling at that time within you, deep within?
Deep within me, I would have killed him.
How did it feel like to you?
I felt like hammering him. I hammered him. I got it. I said, you're wrong, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You have no right to raise your hand on a mother. Who are you? I am giving you to eat. You are not giving me to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I am giving him food 2 times to eat. He is not giving me food to eat. He is not financially helping me, my son. I am financially helping him.
So
I told him, don't raise your hand on me like this and talk. You're eating 2 times, I eat quietly in this house. If you don't want to stay, please carry your bag and get out. He told me, this is my granny's house. I will not go. You get out from this house. That was his reaction.
So
Nothing. So I kept quiet. I told my husband, I said, how you are sitting quiet when he's saying all these words? You're listening to me. You're not even correcting him where he's wrong.
how did that feel? When you were
I feel like,
correcting?
ये तो कुछ भी नहीं बोलता है, इसे छोड़ दो. I immediately became calm. Instantly I became quiet.
How did it feel like in that moment?
Felt like nobody's there yet. I mean, what is this? What is your value today?
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
No value. Your husband does not have value. Your children don't have value. So that value of a person who works, logs, does everything, tries to make ends meet has got no value in life. Like as a mother, you feel that, so let me do whatever it may be. Your son may be wrong, whatever, but she does for her children. For her child is her child. Today when he did like this, I felt like, कुछ value ही नहीं है अपना. Husband is also not having anything in him to say. Son is also not saying anything. So what's the point of opening mouth?
Mm-hmm.
So that is the time I have realized, don't stand for anybody. Nobody is going to stand for you.
What means standing?
Nobody is going to stand for you because at least sometime you feel, Chalo Baba, I'll not go to work now. I'll sit down at home and I'll relax. You see? So my son will come, Mommy, take this 500 rupees. Or my husband will come, take this money. No, don't go.
This is the way how they start feeling as being a victim.
Go to work, leave your job, sit, relax. Let's all be, you cook for us, that's more than enough. Now is the time for you, relax, sit and eat. That is not going to happen in my life.
What means standing for you according to you?
Standing for me
Stand
means
for you.
at
What
least
means stand?
I feel that my children should be with me. Support me, be with me. So
Support me, be with me. This is how they start feeling being unsupported.
we are there. We try to make 4 hands meet, make a proper life. But no.
Describe this a little. Be with me, support me.
Be with me, support me means, Chalo mommy, you can't, at a certain age, a person feels that a person doesn't want to go to work. Okay? The person should feel that, so let's sit down now at home. Mommy, enough, you have worked, you're slow, you're working very hard. You sit, this I'll give you every month. My husband will say, I'll give you. My daughter will say, Mommy, now this is our income. You sit peacefully, eat, cook for us, and we'll all be happy together.
The feeling of being with the family, all be happy together.
But here I find that nobody, even if I want to buy clothes for me, I cannot. I cannot afford a certain price. I have to beg. Beg, tell my children, give me.
This is the idea about these people, like, being ill-treated, being looked down upon, being inferior, being low, like, shunned away. This type of feeling that comes up in these type of people.
I cannot speak. It hurts. Sometimes I feel leave everybody and I'll go. But then I think where to go. Leave everybody and go somewhere and stay peacefully alone.
Why don't you go?
Where like
Find her.
you go, they are telling me you want to go, you go. Come and cook first. Bring the food from there and come.
Why do you do that?
Because nobody's going to do it. I tell them, at least Saturday, Sunday, come on with me.
See, on one side there is all this torture and everything, and on the other side she's saying, sometimes I feel like leaving and going. So I ask her, why don't you go then? What is the issue in that? Leave and go. And see what she says here.
Why do you do that then? What makes you do that?
I feel that who is there for them?
I feel who is there for them. The other side of the aspect of the case, that motherly instinct, the love, the care, and all these things.
See, as a woman, as a mother, we have to stand for our children, no matter whatever it is.
As a mother, we have to stand by our children.
I think today, nobody's going to cook for them, nobody's going to do this for them, nobody's going to do that. So I do it. I think
As a mother, stand for them means what is the stand for them?
nobody's going to give them anything. If I don't do, nobody's going to do. Nobody is going to even come and even give them anything.
So why do you bother about it then?
I feel, that deep down, I feel that I'm not bothered about my children. I even one time when my daughter was small, she said, oh, you want to die? Bindaji die. Hotel Jindabad. I said, okay, no problem. But when I look down and I think my husband, nobody's going to give him anything.
Now watch what she says about her husband now.
This poor fellow is a fool, he sits like this only like a dumb. Mila, khaya, he'll cook whatever he can, he'll wonderful salad and he'll make his food and he'll eat his life. But I think of him, if this fellow doesn't get proper relief, he will become sick. He will have, children will not ask for him. So I tell him every Saturday, Sunday, you come on with me. Let us go, let them live here. Live, you come on with me.
That time he stood and he was seeing everything.
No reaction.
So that time when he stood and just was watching and he had no reaction. So I asked, then why? What is the need for you to do for him then?
And now you are bothered about him. Why?
I feel sometimes like as his mother never cared for him.
As his mother never cared for him. So I have to do that caring business.
Mm-hmm.
He suffered from depression, which even I did not know, frankly speaking. After I got married, then I realized that he's suffering from some problem, some cold. He always used to get cold. So I always used to tell him, like, why you didn't tell me? What made you think that I'll leave you or something? I would have never left. At least I would take you to a proper doctor, gone to a proper channel, got things worked out, like giving you. Still I supported him a lot, always.
So you see, this is the way how these people, just a glimpse to give you about the idea. This is the way how actually the lack people will have this particular theme about being that motherly instinct. On one side, she had this torturous thing of being offended, of being looked down upon, being hit by the son, and the husband, she says, like a eunuch, did not even bother to take any action, and he just stood over there. But yet, on the other side, husband's mother did not take care of him, so it is my duty to do that, my duty to take care of them, take care of him, and even for children, because who is going to be there to cook for them and all that thing. This is the type of the dynamics that goes as far as the mother child and their role as a lack individual is all about. So basically this is the short glimpse of what I actually wanted to give you all, being as a short period of time and not too much to exactly explain everything, but to give an idea about what is the thing that we are going to do at the LAC seminar on the 7th, 8th and 9th of September, that is coming up very soon. Because there is a lot of these lack remedies that are going to be shown in the cases by various teachers, like Shankaran sir will be there, Chatterjee sir will be there, Jayasha sir will be there, Mahesh Gandhi will be there, Paresh will be there, Dinesh will be there. And I think I would really encourage everybody, it's once in a lifetime this particular seminar would be there, where you'll be learning a lot and understanding a lot of ideas about the different milk remedies and the dynamics between the understanding of lack as far as the mother child is concerned. So it's a sincere and request to join in for this particular mega event that is coming up, organized by the Other Song, on the 7th, 8th, and 9th of September 2018. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any questions? Pankaj.
Kindly send in your questions on the right side in the question box. We have about 283 participants, and that's a considerable good amount of participations considering the heavy rains which is pouring in. And thank you, sir, for pouring in the wisdom of knowledge, your experience, and how you demonstrated the key features of this lack. And I really appeal to all the participants to have a wonderful experience in this 3-day mega seminar. It's one in the lifetime opportunity. Also to mention, we also have one more event on 6th of September, which is on Thursday, a meet and greet in which something unique is going to happen. Dr. Massimo and Dr. Shankaran are going to take a case live, and then you would witness their case taking pattern, followed by discussion with all the participants. And in the later half, there would be a session on arachnidae by Dr. Massimo. So this would be exactly a one-day event prior to LEX seminar. For all the details, you can visit our website www.theothersong.com. The Other Song is a platform wherein we have all the great stalwarts, all international teachers at one platform. And we have courses for all the participants, right from student level to a practitioner level. Watch out our YouTube channel for more details. And we are really happy to have your queries, and feel free to approach us. Thank you so much, sir. And
Thank
we
you.
would get back to you in case of any queries we get from the participants.
Thanks a million.
I see one question.
Yes.
Ask it. Okay. One of the participants asked, what is the one thing that we need to capture in the case that gives us the difference between mineral and animal, because lac cases are so close to the mineral kingdom?
Yeah, very good question, because the idea as far as the mineral is concerned is all about the need for something that I am missing, and that missing is the part of me is missing. Structurally, I am missing something, and I'm dependent on something that is a basic need for me. It could be material, it could be in terms of love, care, and affection, it could be in terms of something called as creativity. And this lacking or losing this part, this aspect of structural understanding that is there, differs from that of the mammal part of the story, wherein the whole idea is that my survival is going to be dependent on being in the group. My survival is dependent on the care that the mother gives to me. My survival depends upon the connection that I have developed with my mother in order to learn the difficulties in life, to face the difficulties in life, to develop that immunological system in me through the milk that she has given me. In Hindi, what we call it as doodh ka karz ko ada karna. That's how the mammal look for.
Okay, thank you. Another question, can you distinguish the lack with the minerals of row. So which
The third row.
the minerals of row which need support and security? Can you distinguish?
The third row, basically, that is the natrum row, what we can call it as. They also seek for this particular idea about the support from the parents, because the idea is where they are at the age of 3, 4, 5, when the child actually needs the parents' attention seeking, the need for appreciation, which is very much similar to that of the idea of lax, for that matter. But then the other aspect of me versus you, which you just now saw in the case how it is, then I hit back. I was like simply tortured. I was like, let down, being put down upon. This is not the feature, this is not the language that you can see as far as the third row is concerned. The idea for third row is all about the support needed in terms of nourishing me, nutrition, the support in terms of identity. But here the idea of the lack is that I have been put down, I have been treated inferior, I have been taken advantage of. I have been tortured. It is a painful turmoil that I've gone through. This is what is, in spite of sacrificing so much for the group, and that group could be maybe the workplace, the group could be a family, the group could be anything, or friend circles for that matter, and the what you get a simple basic understanding is, in spite of doing so much, how could they just ill treat me? How could they just take advantage of me? How could they just put me down? This is the idea that you get from the lack remedy, which is different from that of the row 3 of the mineral kingdom.
Okay, thank you. Somebody asked, can we know which lack was used for the particular case that we heard?
See, basically understanding the remedy is not important. The idea what I wanted to float around right now was the how to understand the concepts that is there in the lack, because unless and until you see the whole case, simply knowing the remedy will not give you any essence of it. To be very frank and true, listen to the entire case and then understand the whole thing, because this clip and with this time constraint, I just wanted to show you how the lack people talk about the me versus you scene in the case, and idea about the family members that were involved, and then doing it for the family, doing it for the group.
Okay, thanks. Another question, if you'd like another one. So this type of feeling is, somebody writes, this type of feeling is very common in Indian mothers. How do you differentiate from the other remedies like the natrums and the magnesiums?
That's what, again it comes back to the same third row issue. The idea is, do we see the mineral issues in that? Do we see the mineral content in it? Or are we seeing an animal content in it? Is it a me versus you theme that is there? Is it the theme where I'm seeing the survival instinct that comes up? And is it a theme of structural issue that is coming up over there? The idea about what am I losing in doing it, or what am I gaining in doing it, will give you the idea of the mineral world. How am I going to be benefiting in order for the survival of the family, is what is the animal version that will give you. This is how you would differentiate through the whole story that is coming up, and that story comes up not in a sequence, in an order. It will be in bits and parts here and there throughout the entire interview of the case, and from there you get the essence of how to understand the mineral or the animal version of the case.
Okay, thanks. Somebody wrote, what's the inspiration to the child that drives him or her to play a role of an elder?
Beg your pardon?
What we understand where the lack mother is coming from. What is the inspiration to the child that drives him to play a role as a caretaker, an elder to the parent?
What makes them do that?
Yes.
Yeah, basically, see, there is no logical understanding that why, how, when, where. It's simply what I've seen in my practice, or what I've seen over the period of time, is it's your vital force that drives you to do certain things which even you are not knowing about it. You just simply do it without even realizing.
Okay.
And it is just that the mind and body flows in par with the vital force deep within. Many a time we see certain act done, and then we realize, where was I? Where was my head? Why did I do that? But one doesn't realize while doing it, because it's the vital force that is appealing at that spur of moment to do certain things without even your conscious mind realizing it.
Okay. Is there any, it says here, one question, lac remedies in general are effective for females, or do males also express these symptoms
Yeah,
frequently?
yeah. Couple of patients where there are males who are receiving lac remedies. So it's not a gender factor that is important.
Okay.
So it's not a gender factor that is seen, like how we can see an aggressive pulsatilla also.
Right.
What we otherwise know about being very mild, timid, yielding type of personality of pulsatilla, but we can see the aggressive side of pulsatilla also in some of the cases. So it is like even the males also, there are a couple of cases which have received a lac remedy and have done very well with it.
Okay. Somebody asked, can you explain the difference, give a good difference between the magnesium and the lac feeling? There's some similarities, but what's the best way to differentiate?
The whole idea is, for the magnesium, the whole idea is all about being one person. There should be someone whom I can depend upon for the guidance, as a mentor. And therefore they always hesitate to express themselves, because they have this tremendous fear that they will lose that person and again will be stranded out in the open without any help. This is how the magnesium can actually be read.
Okay. One attendee would like you to explain the attraction and repulsion that you mentioned a little more.
Attraction and repulsion.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I didn't get you. Regarding what? Attraction and repulsion, as in?
Yes.
No, as in what context? Attraction and repulsion?
You had mentioned the lac people have this continual attraction and repulsion, and I guess one of the attendees just wanted that explained a little bit more thoroughly.
See, basically, the idea is that, for example, a lac individual would have this particular, they need to have this connection that is there. And this connection makes them grounded for a good health. And if this connection with the mother is set properly, if that bonding is set properly, which is a form of attraction, then I, as an individual, grows in developing the trust and faith to the outer world also. And if as an individual, if that itself is missing, if I couldn't connect to my mother, the first step of life, how will I be able to develop a trust on anybody else? Then the idea of vulnerability comes. Then the idea of forming a relationship with others becomes difficult. And therefore they grow up not knowing how to connect with other people. There's a huge amount of that lacuna that is there. I just cannot connect with people. I just cannot know how much to trust with that other person. This is what I say. Then they start repulsing from the outer world, and thus landing up into all sorts of depression and these type of complaints. This is the idea about attraction and repulsion.
Okay, thank you. A question came in, if you could explain any miasmatic differences in the lac remedies, any of Songkran's miasmatic theory differences.
the like for example in the lac cananum we have got the psychotic miasmatic background because there is always an acceptance towards a given situation. Whenever there is this issue about going in for if I have to put my foot down for any particular idea, and if the other person is more aggressive and firm enough, I just let go that thing and I accept it. This is how the lac cananum person would do. Whereas for the idea for the lac equinum is more of a malarial type of a thing, which we see where there is a lot of idea about trying to assert themselves and at times trying to give it up.
Okay, thanks. Somebody asked, what's the best way to differentiate between lac humanum and lac maternum?
Beg your pardon?
What's the best way to differentiate between lac humanum and lac maternum?
That will be coming up in the seminar.
Okay. And will the seminar also be a webinar? Somebody asked that.
I think Pankil would be better to answer for that thing.
Not yet, but I think this gave a lot of glimpse and understanding about approach towards lac remedy, I guess. And just one query, which I have 3 of them have asked a similar one. Like many of them would like to know that this rare remedies, how much they are helpful in clinical practice. So if you can just say 2 lines about it, and then we stop the question answer session.
Rare remedies and see, once you are very sure with this thing, once you're really sure with what are you actually dealing with as far as the case is concerned, and from the provings and from the MAC repertory and reference work, if this is the remedy that I really need to administer, I would really going to tell people that take a step forward, administer it, see clinically, and you yourself will get the idea about, yeah, these remedies definitely work. It is not simply that is being taught in our syllabus, a kitty of just 100, 150 polycrust remedy that I know, and that's the end of the story.
Wow, that explains well. Thank you so much, Lucy.
Thanks a million.
Emilia. And thank you, sir. And just once again to all the participants, thank you for patiently listening to this. And we will share emailer with you. You can send your feedback to us. And once again, the website is www.theothersong.com/India. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pankil. Thanks a million.